What separates a great writer versus an influential writer is their saltiness. Hi, I'm Demi Unique and welcome back to my writer's room. Before I completely lose you guys, let me give you some context for this video and share with you guys one of my favorite verses as a writer. In Colossians 4:6, Paul writes, "Let your conversation always be full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer to everyone." Not anyone, everyone. So today we're going to talk about how our writing needs to be seasoned with salt. I'm not only a writer, I also work in development for a company, and we can see after the first 5 pages, 10 pages for a feature, if something is going to be worthwhile or if it's going to be thrown into the back of a pile. And at first, as a student, I didn't believe that at all, but now working in the industry, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. And the missing piece for these scripts that get thrown into the back of the pile, it's saltiness. I mean, what do you mean by salt? Let me tell you. I'm sure we all have that friend or family member who may not add seasoning to their meal. Hopefully it's not you. But we can know the difference between something that is unseasoned and seasoned, and which one would we rather choose? The seasoned. That's basically what we do inside a writer's room and inside a development office. We choose which one of these scripts have season, have a great story, but have a hook that is unique and that we can carry on and we are interested in. Today I want to share with you guys 3 important uses of salt and how we can apply these 3 things to our writing. Salt is universal. No matter where you go, there's salt and people are using salt, and it can be the same thing with our storytelling. Storytelling is universal. Every culture has their own hero's journey story that they tell and they pass down to generations, and our storytelling can be just like that. One thing I learned at Sundance, and that was repeated, I kid you not, every single day. Every single conversation I went to, someone mentioned this, but they were saying how the more hyper specific you are in your story, the more universal it is. So when it comes to our storytelling, to make things universal and salty, you need to be hyper specific. We aren't just writing a story about some guy we saw walking past the street. Who is this person? If it's about you and your family, be specific. You don't have to think about, oh, we need to make it for this person to act in it. We need to make it kind of like this because this sold. Be specific to you in your personal life, and you will be so surprised how universal your story will be. Number 2, salt preserves. The same way that salt preserves life and flavor, it also preserves truth in our story. And I think that's so beautiful because our storytelling can be a chamber of truth. If a story is told in a unique way, the truth of it is contained within that story. Research shows that bacteria cannot live in a highly salted environment. To me, when I think of that and relate it to my writing, I'd go further and say that underdeveloped characters, boring plots, unmovable plots, they also can't live in a highly salted script. Number 3, salt sanitizes. We make stories not just to entertain, but to entertain truth and to entertain thoughts and mindsets and worldview, and to make for a pure world. And in order for us to draw attention and to gain influence through our stories, we need to make them unforgettable and also undeniable when they get to producers, undeniable when they get to the actors and they get the package deal. It all starts with creating this unique story. Here's an example. Let's say you want to tell a story about Black men growing up in America. Take it however you want to take it. Let's say there's 2 options. The first option is a Black man who plays football and gets into a gang and we're following his life. And the second option is in a world created that Black men have wings, and we're following a young man who is getting his wings and trying to have that rite of passage in a world that also is trying to ban wings. Which one of these stories do you think is seasoned with salt? This one we might get thrown back into the pile because we've seen All American before. But this second story is a perfect example of universal preservation and sanitizing because, oh my goodness, it's a real story, guys, called We Were Meant To. I got the beautiful privilege of watching it during the Screenwriters Institute this past January at Sundance. So I'll link the Instagram below. Hopefully you guys can find a way to watch it. But that is a great example of a salty story, an unforgettable story that preserves truth, that is universal, and that's also so unforgettable to try to create a purer world. With what you're writing right now, think, how can I make this different? Part of the reason why we can't write salty scripts is because we're spending all of our time locked up in a room writing scripts. Boring people cannot write authentic, influential, and entertaining scripts. Period. If you aren't living life, you can't write life. You don't have those universal stories to draw from if you aren't living a life that you can draw experiences from. Part of storytelling is having a story to tell. And so I want to influence you guys today to go out, to live, and to draw from these memories that you have, draw from these heartbreaks, draw from these lit times, and also draw from these angry times. Draw from all of these experiences, these stories that you hear from your family, and create a salty script that is unforgettable. Before we leave, I just want to encourage you with one last verse, and Jesus says this in Matthew 5:13. He says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its saltiness, how can it be salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot." Once you have your voice, once you start writing these universal, these truth-preserving, these creative, unforgettable, undeniable stories, don't lose it. Don't lose this special part of you and the way that you tell this story. Don't let anything take that away. Continue to fuel yourself creatively so you can add salt, and in my case, I'm saying seasoning salt. Add that to this world that you were created to add salt to. You are the salt of the earth. And as a writer, that is what separates a good writer and an influential writer. So choose the salty script. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below what you guys think of this video and also what you guys are writing. Talk to you soon. Bye.